Okay. Good morning. This is Joanne. I made a wreath the other day, but I did a horrible job of photographing it. So today I am going to try to make up for that. And I am going to attempt to make one so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. So today I'm starting with a form that I got from the dollar store for $1.25. I am going to make a wreath that hopefully we can set in the middle of a dining room table. You could do the smaller one. There is one that, I want to say this is maybe 14 inches. So there's one that's about 9 inches. But if we do it fluffy enough, you can put a great big candle right in the center of it. So I am going to go ahead and try to get this done in a short amount of time. I'm going to take the fluffiest part of each of these and some of this juniper, some fir, and wow, there's some stickery stuff there. And I am going to use this, I don't know exactly what it's called here, green enamel coating 22 gauge wire. Anyways, it's an easy to use wire. It'd be great to start and be able to wind in every single one on one wire, but I'm just not that good at it like that. So I am going to take this wire, whoops, doesn't drop it on the ground. I'm going to wrap it around one of these stems. And then I'm going to tie all three of them together. Whoops. And then I'm going to go up a little. Just make sure that all three pieces are snugged in. Okay. And it doesn't matter so much, it matters what it looks like up here, but it doesn't matter so much this little part and what people see, because we're going to lay the next group right over the top of them. So I'm going to start right over here, and if I can tuck those right behind there. And then I'm going to go into the two center wires. This one has 4, so I'm going to go ahead and snug it down to the right between the two center ones. Oops. My thumbs are big enough that this is easy for me to get stuck in. Okay. And this I'm going to wrap down over this wire, and just, I'm going to go below this wire here for the frame and over the next one. So anyways, I've got that. Then I am going to find a little bit different. This is a really fluffy one. Find the upper side so that you got the fluff going the right way here. Okay. Let me get my wire to come with me. Okay, so because this wire is up here, I am going to find the part of this branch that is closest to that so that I can wrap the fluffy part. I'm going to go ahead and do this under that. I want to do the fluffy part over the top of the last connection. Is right here. So this fluff sits right over the top of where those wires were all wrapped. And then I can wrap that down a little bit. So it's probably got 3 wraps on it. And this one is not wrapped in yet. So I am going to take boy, I thought I put down all the blue spruce so that it wasn't too big. I am going to take, let's see my wire. The wire's right here. So I am going to stick the wire up in here. They will stick in you. Oh, I've had these for a couple of days, so they are getting a little stickerier than they were. But I had to have time and I had to get the rest of my stuff done, so. Okay, so these I'm gonna tie in right over the last seam. And this time I'm going to catch this little branch. And now, for the sake of having the wire continue and not having to wrap it up and do knots and all that good stuff, I take my 2 wires together and I spread them out. Wow. Lots of stickers today. So I have it spread out like a little Y. I don't know if you can see them, one here and one here. And twisted that up tight so that I can push down the wires, and they are connected now. So I can fold it up against the bottom wire and continue on. Oops. It is on the, coming out on the inside. And I want it to come out by the middle too. Wires of the tops of the form. I just want to make sure that I keep catching the stems, the bottom of those stems. And I can even tuck it under there. clip these off of some of the other that I already put in my flower pots, because this one I want behind there. If I can keep some behind and some in front, then it'll keep it from sticking up in the middle. So there isn't anything furry there. So I kind of need to get some juniper. I think I need to get some juniper going there. And usually right-handed I would do this the other direction, but I'm doing it I'm doing it backwards today because I tried to make this video the other day, or I made a video the other day, and I didn't do a very good job of showing you what I was doing. So I'm trying to do this, I guess probably left-handed. I'm doing it with my right hand, but I'm tying it in a direction that I would normally go the other way. Just so you can see it, what I'm doing. So this wire on the inside is going to kind of show, but we can wrap something on that later. So we have this bluey silver. This is kind of an in-between color. And I have to come up here where I can grab this little branch between these so that I have more greenery coming up on top of it. And when you're done with this, wrapping this whole center one, you can go back and use some hot glue, and you can tuck some other little twigs or branches or sprigs into the wreath that will cover that. But this part I want to get wrapped so that they're tight and snug in the center first. There we go. There's a nice green one. I think I'll put it down a little ways. Okay, so to keep you from having to watch me wind this around for an hour, I'm just going to keep alternating some blue with some in between, with some greenery, different textures, and I'm going to keep going around there, and then I'm going to show you what I can do at the end of that. So okay, so the wreath is looking pretty good. It's looking pretty even. I can see a little bit of wire around here, so I'm going to wrap up the top You can see this part coming around had a little wider, but I need to be able to wrap something in between here, so I'm trying to look and see. I have some juniper here, some fir and juniper, so I don't have any blue spruce. So I want kind of an even one that'll add plenty of fluff. I don't want the stick this long, the stem. So this one I'm going to wrap. Whoops. I'm unwrapping it because I'm going the other way. So that was when you stop for a minute and forget. So I'm going to come up under here. Wrap this in really good. I just added a little extra so it wouldn't be running out on the last little bit here. So I kind of have a catch there. So, okay, blue spruce. And then I have a thicker juniper, but I also have some juniper still here. So I think I'm going to do a smaller. There's this stick in here. I am going to just cut that out and see if that'll work. It'll add some depth, but I'm going to have to make sure that this stick, this is the one that's wrapped, or right between where the big one was, so that I don't lose those. So actually, I'll just go ahead and tuck that in there. Okay. So I'm catching those stems behind it. I'm going to put an extra wrap on that because it's a pretty fat one. And I just don't want it getting bumped and then wanting to go a different direction. So, okay. So I've got that. I've got more blue spruce here. There we go. I think I'll tuck in some more of this. And I have another cross brace here. So I'm going to kind of wrap that. I try to kind of get an extra connection with those. So I'll wrap it around here twice, leaving these little branches sticking out. And I'm going to wrap this between two of them, and then I'm just going to take a diagonal wrap around this cross brace here. And it just kind of keeps different parts of the wreath from slipping one way or another. Okay. Don't want to get that too fluffy, but Where I cut off that stick behind there kind of gave me a little spot. I am going to go get some pine cones, and then I'm going to tuck those in. Okay, now I need one more thing here. And I'm thinking I've got this kind of branch. I've got blue spruce. I'm just gonna put another fluffy blue spruce in there because when I go back and put in a few more. Okay. So this, I'm gonna wrap this part of the juniper in with this blue spruce. And if it sticks out too fluffy, then you can just tie it a little higher. I'll show you here. Get my cross brace in the middle. So if it gets too fluffy, you can always snug it down a little higher in the juniper, or you can kind of push it so that it goes sideways a little. I'm just gonna get one more tiny bit of juniper to put in there to kind of blend the two together. Okay, where's my wire? Well, I haven't lost a wire in there before. There we go. Just blending in with my pine needles. Wow, okay. Okay, so let's snug this down. Catch a few other pieces on the side. Little blue spruce, tie it in there. Okay, oh, this is great. I have a little cross member here. So what I can do is just make about 3 or 4 tight wraps just around that wire. Okay, so here's the back, how it's wrapped, and hopefully you can see it. And then the front, so you can see a little bit of wire here. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna shut this off for a minute, and I'm gonna go find a few pine cones. And then, as we're putting those in, everywhere where I can see the wire, I'm just gonna get maybe a thin piece like this with a kind of a needle of a stem. And if I look over here and I think, because I wrap this round and around the center, if I tuck this into the other branches, if I find a place to slide it, I should be able to tuck it in where it'll stay. And I just want to make sure that the end of that branch is stuck down. Well, I wrapped it good. Okay. But anyways, I kind of don't want that right there. But otherwise we can also wrap more of them around this outside wire. But I'm going to go find some pine cones so that we can insert them in there, and yeah, we'll have a nice centerpiece, or a nice little wreath. Some people have little doors, and some people don't want a great big wreath covering the whole door. So it sure smells Christmassy. So I am going to get with it, and this won't take me very long, and we can add whatever we want to it. Might even hot glue some in. And might put a little frost on our branches with our white paint and our paintbrush. Before I go, I am going to make sure that you saw this. So, here's the wreath. We can decide which way we want to go up and down, if it's going to be up and down, or we can decide what we want to add to make sure it's nice and even. So, okay, I'll be back. Okay, I sincerely hope that that's lit up well enough. I found a couple beads from the store. This is from, I don't know, you can get a bunch so that you can make stuff with them. Those I'm cutting into little pieces. And these are wires, but they're kind of pretty. So I'm just gonna keep those to add a little brightness. A little red to our wreath. But the first thing we're gonna do here is trying to not knock all of our greenery off here. So really quick before I start hot gluing, which I have that already heating up. And it may get nice and hot here for a minute. I am going to spread this paint. It's white metallic on my brush. These are blue spruce pine cones. And because we have blue spruce on here, just gonna roll it. Roll the little edges in the paint. They look better when just the edges are coated than if I was to spray paint the whole thing. These had some glitter paint sprayed on them, but I just want to do the edges. And if I don't get too much on, then I'll still be able to hot glue them real fast here. Something else you can do is frost the edges of your boughs here and there where you want some. I don't know for sure how many of these we want, but thankfully I have trees that had plenty. And my neighbor has a huge blue spruce tree, so when I couldn't find any pine cones on mine, I found a whole bunch on the ground over by hers. So, and they fall in the street, so she doesn't care if I pick them up. Just cleaning up the street for her. Anyways, I don't want to take forever to do this for you. And I'm actually just decided not to frost the pine boughs until I have this hot glued together, because I may want to hot glue on a branch. I think it'll stick to it much better if it's not wet. So, sorry about that. Once again, I'm taking a video while I was rolling these. I think you probably saw it, but once again I was rolling those out of the picture. So, I don't really know which side I want to be up yet on this wreath. Because you can lay this on a table, I think it's better if we just add some branches wherever we think it's too thin. So, I'm gonna grab the hot glue gun. These little guys I found, oh well, I clip off the dead stuff. Okay, I want to make sure you can see the wreath. Okay, the camera died, so I'm not really sure. I want to frost some of these branches or boughs, but I want to leave that until I've hot glued everything, because I do not want the hot glue to have to try to stick to something wet. So I'm going to add some of these little branches or boughs to cover up this wire here. And I want to make sure that that little stem is stuck in there, not falling out and not angled at the wrong angle. So that works for one spot. I want to put a little bit of this stuff. Camera died when I picked it up. This is kind of like a ground crawling kind of juniper thing, but I just want it on the inside there so that it covers up some wear. And because most of this is angled out, it doesn't need to be the outside wire doesn't need to be covered up as much as the inside wire. So so this I can just put a little hot glue on and stick it to the branches that are right where I need to add a little. So I'm sure you get the hang of that. There's one other spot here that needs it, but I think pine cones. Oh, hot glue, hot glue. When this gets to here, it starts not working very good. So, where this fat and fluffy branch was cut here, I want to put a couple of pine cones. And this one, I want to kind of stick at an angle. There we go. And I can see a little bit of the wreath there, so probably need some more hot glue. I have a bigger hot glue gun. I should have used it because it works. Doesn't run out so quick. That I just glued kind of right to the wire. And right here is a spot. This I'm going to stick to the other greenery. There we go. You can just move around the ones on top of it. Okay, now I have a couple of those. I think we'll add a couple of these long ones. After they're all stuck in there, we can always go back and pull those little hot glue strings off. Okay. Now we need a couple more of the round ones. I'll put the snowy side up. It's always good to be able to put some little boughs and branches to kind of pull them up in between them. And if you want to stick them together, so they kind of hang together, that works. Okay, it's catching on the center. Okay, here's another branch like that. Have to hold my glue stick in here. If you have both, Use the bigger ones, they seem to work better. There we go. Turn my hands nice and white because there's still wet paint on them, but that's okay. I'm making sure I get some glue on the dry part. And it's acrylic, so it will dry pretty fast actually. Okay. Actually, I think that works pretty good for those. And I don't know. We have one more spot over here that seems like the wire's really sticking out. That little fluffy stuff works good, but I may just do this. It's rounded. There. Just kind of sticks out like that. And these we can push over. One fluffy piece of blue spruce. I am just going to tack it down in this spot. Blue spruce should go with its own pine cone. There we go. I am going to glue it just a little bit right here. There we go. Now, these little beads really don't need glued in. Oops, kicking my camera around. But I am going to put some glue on them and kind of let them hug that little branch. There we go. And put a little this kind of has a hole. It's not a big one, but that kind of sticks up further than a lot of the stuff around it. So I'm going to take that and glue it to the top. And then I can glue this to the top of that. Kind of holds it together, spreads it out a bit. I think definitely need another glue stick. I think I need a little bit extra right here. And this. could tell you some Christmas stories, but I am very bad at multitasking when I am thinking about how I want to do something, and I'm sorry about that. Sometimes I know exactly what I'm going to do, and I can talk about anything else. Sometimes I just flat out don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm thinking about it the whole time. And therefore, I don't talk a whole lot, so my apologies. Come from a big family. Yeah, it's so much fun over the holidays. My son is getting so excited about helping me cook, make chocolates, Christmas goodies. He is 26, and it's just fun to see boys, mama's boys. I mean, they're boys, but I don't know. I was always a tomboy, so. It doesn't really matter, but they love the taste of things, so I have been asking for my son's help because I don't have girls. And there is nothing like having a young chef in the kitchen that wants to help me make some good stuff. And I have made a lot of chocolates and things over the last few years. I want to make chocolates so that they look like the Northern Lights. And I just love mixing art with cooking. Plus I like chocolates. Anyways, so we just keep trying to get better and better flavored ones. I guess our favorite chocolates are probably the, I'm kicking my camera again, probably our lemon or lime flavored. And all you have to do is melt some chocolate. You mix a little bit of nice warm cream and like you're gonna make a ganache. So you melt some cream, and then you take, let's see, what are we doing here? There's kind of a hole here. I just want it to be thick as all over. So as you can see, I always, whatever I'm telling you, I'm gonna quit. And make sure I got this right before I continue. I don't know. Maybe I like it like that. Anyways, I take some white chocolate and pour the white chocolate in the warmed up cream. I think they do it about 110 degrees. But anyways, put some white chocolate in there. And then, when you melt the white chocolate, stir it in real good. And then, you add some lemon flavoring and some lemon juice and a little bit of lemon zest. And just mix that up real good. And it should be a creamy but kind of thick consistency. You know, like whatever consistency you'd like in the inside of your chocolates. And then I have chocolate molds, and I mix the chocolate melt it like I'm supposed to, temper it. And there's tons of videos online that will show you how to do that. There's a Brittany, maybe I should put her link in there, that I watch. Subscribe to her channel, and she teaches you how to temper the chocolate so that it's tempered right. And let's see, where can I put another one of these? So I coat the inside of the mold with my tempered chocolate, and you dump that out so you have a thin shell and let it harden. And then when you're done, you just fill it up with that lemon filling, and a little ways from the top. And then you pour the other tempered chocolate over the top of it, scrape it clean, and let it set. And then I try decorating the tops with colored tempered chocolate so that I have colors on them that look like northern lights. And anyways, it's really fun, and they taste amazing. And and we usually have them all eaten before Christmas Day is over, but I make sure everybody in our house gets some. And well, it's fun having my son help me make them. So there is our wreath, our centerpiece, and I can kind of see the hot glue on this. So I am going to put one. I'm going to get a little sprig here somewhere. There we go. There you go. Just want to tuck it in there up against the pine cone so that it doesn't look like there's a whole bunch of glue. So here is our wreath, and I think it'll make a great centerpiece. Shove all the rest of this stuff off of here so we can see what it looks like without it. And because our pine cones have a little bit of weight on them, I still would like to be able to just kind of put a little frost. I definitely need more paint than that if I'm gonna, whoops. Okay. There we go. It's okay if we put a little frost on our berries. I like this better than putting a little of that artificial snow on, because that artificial snow just dries up and cakes off, and needless to say, it makes a big mess wherever it is. Okay. I put this on a little thicker because it wasn't coming off very good. Might have got it too thick, but I don't think so. Okay, so there is just a little bit of frost on our wreath. So, thank you for watching. I hope you make a great wreath, and sorry about my last one. I am new to taking pictures. I've taken pictures for 35 years of what other people are doing, and them while they're doing it, and everything that looks great, but I am not very good at taking pictures of me while I'm doing projects, because I'd rather I wasn't in the picture. I am working on getting my thin body back. I just started another channel with the one weight loss program I have used that is absolutely works. And yeah, I don't want to keep this weight on. I had steroids given to me and it really messed me up. And I am sure that there's other people that have had steroids given to them by doctors, and mine told me, don't worry about it. You can take the weight off later. There we go. You know what I found out? Is later with steroids can be much later. And even though I know what to do and how to lose weight, it just doesn't work with the steroids. So this plan, nothing else has worked, and that plan worked better than anything, so I am working on it. And the good news is I've lost 4 pounds in the last 2 days. So anyways, I'll put the link. I think I already have a link to my weight loss deal. Nice pretty butterfly on the link on one of my posts. But anyways, I am doing that too, and yes, I'll take the holiday day or 2 off where I'm not focusing on not touching any sugar or eating anything that's extra special, because I love making it and so I like to eat it, but I will definitely curb my appetite. I can't eat very much anyways. But yeah. Thanks for watching. I'm going to find a great place to put this, and have a great day.